Hey guys, it's Elle Hayes. Welcome back to my channel. I have another festival video for you. I know you might get sick of them by the end of this weekend when I go to another. Well, I went to Disrupt Fest and I'm gonna tell you all about it. So we're going to Disrupt Fest today. I got up early so that I can actually make it to the gym. Kind of proud of myself. Yesterday was like a no movement day, but I did finish my warped video yesterday, the editing of it, and it's up finally. Yeah, so gonna work out, gonna meet up with Rico and do some music so we can prep for our next show, and then head out to Disrupt Fest. So I will keep you updated. Just got here and parked. Rico forgot stuff in the car, so take two on that.
What's up, Hartford?
You have food on your face. That's in the video. It's on the corner of your mouth. It's so empty that they can literally load back up the truck already. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it's pretty nice to be able to load up during the festival so you don't have to wait and do it really late at night. And of course, Rico just shakes his head in literally every freaking video of himself. Guys, we're already driving back. I'm trying to shoot my thoughts. We're actually almost home now. Crazy. So, I like this a lot better than Warped. I will explain everything obviously in my normal recap, but just immediate response right after the festival. I liked it a lot more. The energy was a lot better. Thank God, not on the beach, so much better. And yeah, I think overall had a better time. Rico. And those are his thoughts. So the first thing I want to bring up is the venue, since I made a big deal about venue in my previous video. This one was at Xfinity Theater in Hartford. I might be a little biased because I interned there for a period of time a couple years ago, and I've been going there for most of my life, it seems. So it's easy to say that I love this venue. It had a lot to do with the fact that it's all on tar or solid footing in the very least, so people actually were able to be moshing and rambunctious like I expect at a concert. Unlike previous ones. I'll go into that later though. I liked the fact that everything was spread out a decent amount. Nothing was on top of each other. No one was really hitting into one another, which could be good or bad. It was semi-empty for what it should have been. I've been there when there were bamboozles or warp tours in the past and you couldn't move without bumping into someone. But I liked the whole atmosphere and vibe of this. I think that everyone who went to this particular concert was excited to be there and were diehard fans because this is Disrupt Fest's first real year doing anything. That I think the people who came had a different mentality about them as opposed to at Warp Tour, where I felt like people were kind of just hanging out and didn't really want to be at a concert. So that felt different. I want to go into the not big turnout that was at Disrupt Fest. I think there are a couple of reasons. All the bands that were at Disrupt Fest were at Warp Tour. So I think that if you wanted to go to a big festival and make a weekend of it, you probably would have just gone to Warp Tour and skipped Disrupt Fest altogether, since you probably would have seen these bands already. So that played a role in it. In addition, I think that people are hesitant to be the first ones to go to a new festival. And with this being Disrupt Fest's first year, I think people don't really want to spend the money on it. Although it was cheaper than Warp Tour, which I think was a benefit, it wasn't enough to make people want to go to the middle of nowhere in Connecticut when they could have gone to a party in Atlantic City the previous weekend. I will say that Disrupt Fest reminded me a lot of Mayhem Fest, which, if any of you had been to that, it had a decent turnout, but as the years went on, it quickly dwindled, and that kind of looked like what Disrupt Fest was this year. I'm hoping that'll change going forward. I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot by taking the same bands that were at Warp Tour, because it's hard to see if there's longevity in this festival when these artists just played the week prior, not too far from here. So it's hard to tell if this festival will actually last, despite the fact that I think it has great potential. Also, the bands that are playing this kind of festival are not really going to appeal to a mainstream audience that's looking for more popular music. And while that's fine, I think Warped Tour and Bamboozle always found a way to incorporate more popular artists to help get the numbers there, and it doesn't look like Disrupt Fest is aiming to do that. I also know that Disrupt Fest and it seems Sad Summer Fest are kind of the two festivals taking over for Warped Tour, and because of that, I think you're going to have the crowd split between the two. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel about this after going to Sad Summer Fest next weekend to determine which one actually has staying power, or if both actually can somehow last despite not being as grand as Warped Tour. A completely random side note about why this was great. Unlike a previous festival, not to be named of course, I wasn't able to find food at that previous festival. This one had food that was gluten-free, guys. It was a miracle, truly. And it wasn't even an all-day festival. They don't post... The previous festival didn't post the set list prior to doors. This one has it available well in advance. I think it was right when they announced and sold tickets. They had the times up, which could be good or bad. I get why Warped Tour doesn't announce it. They make sure that every band has people there for them. None of the bands that were at Disrupt Fest were small, so I don't think they had much of the concern of no one being there for their sets. But it was nice to know that if I really wasn't interested in seeing an act, I could come a bit later, which I did, since I didn't feel like getting sick midway through the show and missing acts that I like to see. Beta's behind the camera, guys, so this is a special one. Shout out to Beta. And why I'm unable to talk. So I think all in all, I really liked Disrupt Fest. I liked it a lot more than I liked Warped Tour last weekend. To me, it just had the vibe that I'm looking for at a concert. I have footage that I will show you of people moshing and the crowd being really rowdy. And Anthony Green was practically in the crowd during part of it, which, I completely enjoyed. It felt very intimate despite being a decent-sized venue. And I think that's very cool to have. You're not going to get that on a beach setting. So I hope Disrupt Fest lasts. I'd like to be able to go next year and give you an update on how it's improved. Hopefully the lineup will be better and there will be more stages, because there were only 2 this go around. And they also didn't play at the same time. It was very different where all the opening acts played on one stage. There was then an hour break, which was kind of nice because then people went and got food and didn't miss an act. And then the main stage started, and there was enough of a lull between acts that you could go get food, go get merch, go to the bathroom, and not miss anything, which is great. So maybe more festivals will take note of that and do that as well. I hope you like this video, guys. It's probably a shorter one than last, because I'm hoping to do a giant recap at the end of that Summerfest, where I give a rundown of all the differences between them and why I think which one was the most successful. Hope you stick around for that, and I'll